Hey, what's going on there, everybody? cloudedtruth here, and welcome back to Support Showcase, the series I do on my channel in which I showcase anything and everything support class. From weapons, gadgets, tactics, and strategies, I cover them to help you become a little bit better of a support class player here in Battlefield 4, and then ultimately together we can become flat-out support masters. Literally to where whenever you enter a server and it says welcome so-and-so to this server, people are like, oh crap, that's the guy that's a beast with LMGs. Yeah, that's what I want to have happen. Same thing for console. You check the scoreboard, you see that other guy's coming in on the enemy team, you go, oh crap, he can just flat out wreck people with LMGs in this game. That's what I want to have. Yeah, it's a far stretch, but guess what? I think it's achievable. Don't you? If we work together on this, helping each other out, you guys leaving tips, leaving suggestions for you to cover, things you want to talk about, stuff like that, we can ultimately achieve that. I would just love to see that for all of us in this game. Now I know so far all I've done is weapons, and today is featuring another one, the MG4. But I feel like it's really important to understand the guns of the class first, because you're not running around with like the gadget or the whatever it may be within the class in terms of, or you know, you're not really the specializations. I know they matter, but it's not like that's what really is important here and what the main focus of the game is about. It's on the weapons, it's on the gunfights, and you got to understand the weapons of the class to be able to really use it effectively, and then dive into the gadgets, really how to play the class, because that's when you understand things after you get used to using the weapons. So that's what I'm going to do with this series as of right now. I'll probably start to slow down the guns, because for me, the weapons that I've been showcasing are the ones that I've used probably the most, with the exception of really the M249, which has not made it on this, and don't worry, it will pretty soon. As I said though, the MG4 is the weapon I'm going to be talking about today, and I do apologize for last time of going too much into stats. I don't want to become this robot nasal type of statistics reader that's all I ever say. I want to talk about gameplay, because you guys are playing the game. It's not a statistics war, it's a freaking gun war. You're shooting people, you're not shooting people with statistics. I mean, that's just ridiculous. So I'm not going to cover that too much. I'll go over a few things that are important, obviously some base stats, things you need to understand and know, but in terms of usage, that's what I'm going to focus on. So this is going to be a couple rounds of TDM on Operation Locker. Highly encourage you all to stick around until the end. Some pretty darn nice clips coming up, especially towards the end of this video. Pretty good flanking and wrecking about half for the whole team basically. So you guys will see it as we get towards the end though. Now the MG4 is the last light machine gun that you unlock for the support class in Battlefield 4, and it fires at 800 rounds a minute. Very fast, tied with the M249 for the highest RPM among all light machine guns in Battlefield 4 thus far. I say thus far because who knows what will be coming with DLCs, if we even get them, but that's a different topic, different time. Now the MG4 with that 800 RPM means that you gotta be aggressive, and that's pretty much a given with any high RPM weapon in any FPS game. Aggressive is the name of the game, but it's a little bit different than its counterpart, the M249, that fires at the same RPM. To me, I find the MG4 is not quite as good as an up-in-your-face type of light machine gun, but that's just my personal experience and what I found. The MG4 for me is kind of a very aggressive but stop-and-shoot type of weapon. The M249 is just a rush, and can I say rush some more? No, I can't, because that's way too many already. But that's what I find. The M249 is the go light machine gun, and the MG4 is a go stop. That's what it feels like with this weapon, but obviously that 800 RPM will shred people in close quarters, just like that guy right there. So when using this weapon, it's a lot of I run, stop, ADS, run, stop, ADS, run, stop, ADS, but I'm moving a lot with this weapon because I want to have the engagement be at least this range or closer. A little bit farther is okay. It's not great just because of this weapon, high rate of fire, and to go along with that, its recoil amounts, which I'll get to right now. It's not too bad with the recoil, not nearly as high as the 240B. The Tiger kicks like a beast because, I mean, it is a beast. It's a Tiger. Come on now. But the MG4's recoil is real, I'd say about medium-ish. It's got a 0.4 vertical, 0.4 pull to the right, and a 0.2 to the left. Now, what does that exactly mean? Well, the MG4 is going to kick up and to your right. So it's important to understand the recoil statistics on a weapon. That way, when you're playing and after you learn it, and then you can counter it to where you don't have to think about doing it in a match. Because sometimes, like whenever I was first starting to use weapons, trying to look at the stats, okay, you know, the recoil kicks which way? Okay, so I need to counteract by this. We got to get to the point where we don't do that anymore. And that's what I was doing early on. Now I don't worry about it with this weapon. I understand the recoil. I know it to where now it's second nature. When I fire, I know exactly how far I need to pull my mouse down. Same thing with a controller. That thumbstick, you need to learn how far you need to pull that down to be able to really counteract the recoil of this weapon. Now, the first shot, or the initial recoil of this weapon is not too bad. It's twice as much as the M240B with a 1.0, but that's still not very high. 1.0 is not too bad. So an angled foregrip is not something I'd really recommend on the MG4. I feel like it's not necessary or really needed. But if it works for you and you do better with it than any other grip, then that's something that's your choice. And if it works better, like I said, use it. It's that simple. So in terms of setups go, now that we mentioned the angled grip, what is it that I like to run on the MG4? Well, I have tried a crap load of stuff. I mean, really, I've tried almost anything and everything. In terms of the scopes go, Cobra sight's not too bad. The Reflex red dot sight, the Coyote I just unlocked recently in a battle pack after so many freaking kills. Not as many as some people, I will say. I think it was like the 390 kill battle pack, which is still annoying because it's like, come on, can I please just have that earlier? Yeah, it's frustrating. You guys, you all know. I mean, I'm sure you all know. Check this moment out. Chuck a stick of C4, and how did that recon not die? He was closer to the C4 stick than I was, and yet he is alive. Baffles me. I don't get it. But the Coyote sight is my personal sight of preference just because it just worked well on the MG4. Some scopes or some weapons, the Coyote sight does not work well on the MG4. It does. In terms of other attachments for these accessory, I really like the 2x magnification. I feel like it really works well on the MG4 because you're going to be at close quarters for the most part. However, if you have to engage targets at range and you know you're going to be stuck in a situation where it'd be great to have some magnification to be able to see your enemies downrange easier, then just slap on your whatever the accessory button is for you. I think it's what, T for PC, and it just puts some magnification over. That way you can be able to identify and hit your targets much easier downrange. Now in terms of what do I use for grips, this is a really big one for LMGs in Battlefield 4. Now for a while I was really religious on using just this potato or stubby grip. I mean, it's a potato. I'm not going to go more that you guys probably sick and hear me talk about the potato, but potato or stubby is one that I always recommend for anything. You can never ever go wrong with the potato or stubby grip. If your mind is literally just, it's like the ball's bouncing back and forth because you can't figure out which one, head's gonna explode, you just don't know. You can never go wrong, ever. It has benefits, and that's it, and it's very clear in what it states for its benefits. But the other one that I've been using a little bit more recently is the vertical or ergo grip. I have been using that just a slight bit more. Now, a lot of people will say this, and based off the stats on Symthic, it does tell you that the vertical grip reduces the ADS spread of your weapon while strafing if you ADS or hipfire. Hipfire I found to be the case. After doing some tests though, I found that it doesn't seem to really help you much when ADS and strafing, but that's what I have found. Perhaps I just completely was missing something from that, and whether I be not strafing enough or whatever that may be, I found it to not work very well, and it doesn't seem to do what at least on Symthic, what it says it does, rather just what it does for the battle log description in terms of just decreasing your hip fire spread by 50%. So in terms of using that grip, not a big fan of it, but like I said, if it works for you, use it. In terms of the final attachment go, to be able to control the MG4 and really take advantage of those close to medium range engagements, the compensator. I tried the muzzle breakout, used it for a little while. It works great if you have trouble with vertical recoil. But once you master the vertical recoil on this gun, use the compensator. Helps you control the side-to-side recoil and really allows you to be much more accurate with this weapon. Heavy barrel, you can use it if it works well. I don't recommend it now because I've really figured out the heavy barrel in terms of its trade-off is not worth it. Suppressor isn't bad, but that works best on the next LMG probably that I'll be talking about in the series, and that's the M249. So when using the MG4, guys, remember, be very aggressive but stop-go type of strategy, and it'll work very well for you here in Battlefield 4. Hopefully you guys enjoy it. Leave your thoughts about it below, and take care. I'll see you all next time.